Now let's cover some content. Now that we did all the preparations, we're ready to understand more about the content. We're not going to cover slide by slide here. You have the master deck with very clear speaker notes for that. Instead, I will focus on the flow, the games, exercises, and some slides that are important to emphasize. Intro. We're starting the day with a fun game. Usually when people come to these events, especially if they come alone, they're very quiet. We want to wake them up and make them feel at home. And for that, we're using an icebreaker I like to call speed dating. We give them 7 seconds to stroll the room and look for someone they don't know. After 7 seconds, when they all stand in the room in couples, we give them 30 seconds to discuss a topic we suggest. We start with something like favorite TV shows. People love talking about that. 30 seconds have passed, and they have another 7 seconds to find a new person and discuss for another 30 seconds another random topic. You'll see our topic suggestions in the speaker notes. It could be as random as birds or as relevant as remarketing. We recommend completing a few rounds and finishing with something audience-related. After the game, we have a few important intro slides like presenting the facilitators, the rules for the day, the agenda, and the goals of the day. I want to touch the goals of the day for a tiny second and then move on to the agenda. We have 3 goals for the day. Number 1, we want to help participants create an audience strategy so that they know where to start from, given the fact that we have around 11 audience solutions or more. Number 2, we want to turn participants to masters of implementation. And number 3, we want to help them measure correctly, because this is how we can eventually show it's valuable and keep growing. Maybe you noticed that this is exactly how we built the agenda. We have 2 hours where we will discuss the why audience, and later see our solutions map and learn about our work frame and strategy. After that, we will discuss best practices for setting up and optimizing our audience activity. Lunch will usually split this session to 2 halves. We finish the day with our measurement piece and then summarize. Module 1. Why audience? This short module should take you about 20 minutes or half hour together with the intro. The idea of this part is to discuss the why. Why are we talking about audience today? This is the more salesy part, where we want to touch how advanced our products are. We're starting with a task. We're introducing our gaming website and asking the audience to come up with one word or one idea about what advertising will look like in 20 years. There's a longer explanation on how to do it with the word cloud and the gaming website in the gaming website section of this video. So please view it if you want the full explanation. By the way, each time you see this type of slide, you know there's a game or an exercise coming, just so you know. After we show the audience their word cloud, I like naming a few relevant examples from there. You would usually see things like automated, personalized, and it's also a good opportunity to let the audience speak to something interesting you see in the word cloud, or a good timing to make a joke about something unique or funny that you see there. From there on, we are telling a story of what we think the future of advertising will look like. And we're naming 4 points that we curated from several articles and websites. You can see our sources in the speaker notes of the deck. Every point has its own few slides. Our first point is actually the audience point and the most important point of the day: customized and personalized. This is where we emphasize the difference between old advertisement, one who reaches everybody, even the non-relevant audiences, versus new advertisement that has signals and is able to reach the real user. The second point is the automation part. It's short and to the point and focuses mainly on machine learning. You can already mention there solutions like smart bidding or smart display campaigns. The third point is touching the integration of advertising channels. This is an interesting one. We see products like DBM slowly trying to integrate several platforms and networks, and we know this is just the beginning. We know the future will see the offline and online teams uniting once there will be enough data to connect the dots. We will see teams who deal with branding or marketing integrating with performance teams. The right hand will start knowing what the left hand is doing when there's enough data to connect the causality. And for this, we will need the fourth point, which is transparent attribution. We know attribution is considered one of the biggest challenges in the marketing industry. And we know that this is the #1 insight that every marketer is looking for to really understand the user. All of these 4 points are something inspirational to start the day with. It's important to mention during this session that these are all things that we see starting to exist, but it's not all in place, so the future is almost here. Moreover, and more importantly, these 4 points represent the agenda of the day. And it's very important to close the loop at the end of this section. Our main focus for the day will be the first point, the audience and personalization bit. But we will also focus on automation when we discuss smart bidding, or even SDC, and attribution when we discuss measurement. Don't forget to close the loop before going forward.